The bar hummed with the low murmur of conversation, clinking glasses, and the faint notes of jazz drifting from an old speaker in the corner. The soft glow of dim pendant lights reflected off polished mahogany, casting warm shadows over the patrons gathered in their evening ritual of unwinding. Behind the counter, Ethan moved with practiced ease, his hands a blur as he mixed drinks, poured drafts, and exchanged friendly banter with the regulars. At 32, Ethan had been a bartender for nearly a decade, and he loved his job. He enjoyed listening to people's stories, offering a sympathetic ear, and creating drinks that matched their moods. But tonight, the atmosphere in the bar was tainted by the presence of a man who made the air feel heavier with every word he spoke. The customer, a sharply dressed businessman in an expensive suit, had been insufferable from the moment he walked in. Loud, arrogant, and dripping with entitlement, he barked orders without so much as a please or thank you. He sneered at Ethan when his drink didn't arrive within seconds, and scoffed when he was served. "You call this an old-fashioned?" the man spat, glaring at the drink as if it had personally offended him. "I've had better from a college frat party." Ethan, ever the professional, remained composed. "I'd be happy to make you another one, sir. Is there something you'd like different?" The man rolled his eyes dramatically, drawing the attention of nearby patrons. "You know what? Forget it. It's not like a low-life bartender would know anything about real quality." A hush fell over the bar. The regulars who adored Ethan bristled at the insult. But before anyone could react, the door opened, and in walked someone who made the entire room sit up and take notice. Keanu Reeves. Dressed in his signature black jacket, dark jeans, and scuffed boots, he carried an air of effortless coolness, yet his presence was anything but imposing. He moved with the humility of someone who didn't expect to be recognized, yet he couldn't escape the admiring glances that followed him. He took a seat at the bar, a few stools down from the rude businessman. Ethan, though surprised, greeted him like he would any other customer. "Good evening. What can I get for you?" Keanu smiled, his voice kind. "Whiskey? Neat?" As Ethan poured, the businessman scoffed. "Oh, great! Another wannabe connoisseur. Maybe he can teach you how to make a proper drink." Keanu turned his gaze to the man, his expression unreadable. "Tough night?" he asked, his voice calm, measured. The businessman smirked. "Tough life, actually. You wouldn't get it." Keanu tilted his head, considering the man for a moment. "You're right. I don't know your struggles, but I do know that how you treat people says a lot about you." The businessman let out a short laugh. "Oh, spare me the wisdom. This guy," he pointed at Ethan, "is just a bartender. It's not like he's doing anything meaningful." The room tensed. Ethan exhaled slowly, willing himself to let it go. He had dealt with men like this before, the type who belittled others to make themselves feel bigger. But before he could respond, Keanu leaned forward, his voice firm but gentle. "You know," Keanu said, setting his glass down, "I've played a lot of characters, assassins, hackers, warriors. But the best part of my job? It's that I get to tell stories about people. People like Ethan." The bar was silent. Everyone listened, captivated by the sincerity in his tone. "This bartender," Keanu continued, nodding toward Ethan, "he's not just serving drinks. He's an artist, a listener, a friend. He sees people at their best and at their worst. He helps people forget their troubles, if only for a little while, and he does it all with patience and kindness, even when he's not given the same respect in return." The businessman shifted uncomfortably, but Keanu wasn't finished. "The way I see it, anyone who works with their hands and heart deserves respect. And if you don't see that, maybe it's not Ethan who's beneath you. Maybe it's you who needs to look up." A beat of silence, and then applause. First from a lone customer in the back, then spreading through the entire bar. People cheered, clapped, some even raised their glasses in a toast to Ethan. The businessman, red-faced and flustered, muttered something under his breath before slapping a few bills onto the counter and storming out. The moment the door swung shut behind him, the tension lifted, replaced with warmth and camaraderie. Ethan turned to Keanu, a mix of gratitude and disbelief in his eyes. "Thank you," he said, voice thick with emotion. Keanu simply smiled and lifted his glass. "To the real ones?" The whole bar joined in, echoing his words as they drank to the quiet hero behind the counter. And for the first time that night, Ethan wasn't just a bartender. He was seen.